Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Ringside Rundown Podcast. My name is Erik Vasquez, and joining me on the line is my podcasting partner in crime. Yes, that rhymes. Coming straight from the Berg, she is none other than Shay Hickson. Shay, what's going on, my friend? How are you this week?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. Pens are back in the playoffs for hockey, first time in 4 years, so I'm pretty excited about that one. One of my women's teams are in the playoffs, and the other one's fighting for the last spot. So I'm doing well. I'm doing as good as I can. Not so happy about the draft showing up though next week. I am
Uh-oh.
not thrilled to say the least because this NFL draft has been nothing but a clusterfuck for this city, and is already shutting down roads and everything. And of course, I have to drive to Northside to work. So it's like,
Oh, so the draft is in your city this year?
unfortunately, yes.
Oh, wow.
It's not fun. It's like none of us are really like excited for it because it's just an inconvenience for anybody that lives here. And I have made the smart decision to leave the state when the draft comes in next week. I will be in Ohio for most of the weekend because I want nothing to do with the city and that many people. I mean,
Nice,
think about it,
nice.
700,000 people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, like so I'm good. I'll go out to the middle of Ohio and find something to do. Like I don't feel like it, but other than that though, I can't really complain.
Nice, nice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to tonight's episode. It's a big one. It is Shay and I giving our predictions for this year's WrestleMania, both night 1 and 2. For those of you that are new here, this is a professional wrestling podcast. Shay and I talk about the biggest stories and happening in the world of professional wrestling, and sometimes we open up the floodgates and let you ask questions. But tonight's a little different because we have such a big show with WrestleMania coming up. This entire episode is dedicated to our predictions for what is happening at the Showcase of the Immortals. The biggest show of the year, WrestleMania back in Vegas for the second year in a row. Just what is your general excitement level for this year's WrestleMania?
It is not great. I feel like it seems like almost every possible thing they could have done wrong, they have. Like maybe not everything, but just like very big things where it's like, okay, you can't possibly fuck this up. They've decided to fuck it up. It's just like, guys, what the fuck are we doing here? It just seems like it was the perfect storm of just shit. It's just a bunch of shit. Like, the ticket prices are still high, even with the sale. They're still not selling tickets well. You're putting celebrities in matches where they don't, in feuds where they don't belong. And the biggest thing, the best way I can put it, and you and I were kind of like experimenting with this before we came on, and we hope people can hear these because we have little like sound effects on the Discord server, and if this doesn't show up on the like the recording, that's gonna suck. But I think the best way I think a lot of people can put the build up to WrestleMania is simply just like what the fuck? Like it's just I don't know what they're thinking on some of this. It's just a lot of raised eyebrows, just a lot of what are we fucking doing here? But yeah, it is definitely not making me too terribly excited overall for the show. There's a couple matches here and there where I'm like, yeah, I'm still excited for it, but overall it's just kind of
I can sympathize with you being a older wrestling fan. I'm honestly, I'm different from everybody else when it comes to WrestleMania, especially this year. I recognize that it is a polarizing WrestleMania. It definitely has its debaters and things of that nature. But I'm generally like, as I am every year for WrestleMania, excited for the spectacle of it all, just to see it go down and see it happening. There are a few matches that I am excited to see happen, for the wrestling's sake. So I am still,
yeah.
there's still some things. It's still WrestleMania to me, despite the clusterfuck of trying to sell tickets in the worst way possible. I think that's the best way I could explain it. They're trying to sell tickets at a feverish pace, but in the
Yeah.
worst way possible.
Well, and they're trying literally everything and it's not working. Like you can tell they're getting desperate at this point because it's like, "Oh, hey, we have it on sale through this weekend for 25% off. Hey, like Cena's the host of WrestleMania. Like that's cool, right?" And it's
Yeah,
like, "Okay, well people still aren't." And I was talking to a friend of mine at work about this too. You can't charge the prices you were and then turn around and be like, well, we're going to give you 25% off. That's good, right? It's like, well, 25% off $1,000 is still a lot of fucking money to sit up in peanut heaven.
yeah,
Like, you guys still can't justify these prices. Like,
yeah,
people don't want to pay hundreds of, I think the last time I checked, and it was like, I think last weekend or something, the seats up in the upper bowl are still 400 and something dollars. Like, that's insane. Like, that is still fucking insane. Like, that is, I mean, we kind of go off a Dynasty a little bit. I saw the sign they had behind commentary where they're like, I paid as much for these tickets as WWE or like whatever for like their nosebleeds, pretty much.
mm,
And that pretty much tells you that you're paying a little too, you're charging way too much. Like,
yeah,
you shouldn't be paying hundreds of dollars to sit up in the nosebleeds. You should be paying hundreds of dollars for decent seats in the 100s,
yeah.
not where they're the size of a grain of rice. Like, it's ridiculous.
I do agree. I do agree. The ticket prices are outrageous, and I I'm not business savvy, so I can't justify it. I just know that I could never afford to go to a WWE show not under the TKO banner because of the ticket prices and what they ask for tickets. It's just outrageous. I can't do it. So I can't imagine what people have to do, especially like if you have kids and you want to take your kids to an event or something like that. To have that, you're generally priced out of that bonding moment because the prices are just too outrageous. Um,
Yeah.
I've
But you
been,
can't have it both ways either. Like, you
yeah,
can't say, oh, well, we're still a family oriented sports entertainment company, and then turn around and then be like, yeah, but we're also owned by TKO, which is like a very straight white guy centric demographic. Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't, you're not going to burn the candle at both ends and expect something bad not to happen. Like, you can't cater to everybody. And
right,
the thing is, it's like, yeah, TKO is more MMA centric, which is again more like straight white guy demographic for the most part. And then WWE is family friendly, so you're going to get more money out of the families than you are the straight white guys. Like, that's just on average how it goes because that is more or less your core demographic are families. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how they feel like they can double dip and get away with it. And then they're just like, well, what do you mean no one's buying tickets? It's like, well, yeah, I can't imagine why. Because you guys are being greedy. It's just corporate greed.
yeah. I don't even think a lot of it has to do with the buildup or the storylines. I just think that the prices for the tickets are too crazy for people to justify going. You know,
Yeah, it bleeds into everything else though. I think that's just the problem. I think it's kind of the perfect storm, like I mentioned earlier, of well, the ticket prices are too high and people are upset now because it's like, okay, well, like the stuff you're advertising or building up towards for the show is not worth the money. And so I think it's just that perfect storm of I'm not spending money on this shit because some people are thinking it's shit and it's just like justifiably so and they're right, but it's just like you can't put the product in the ring that you're trying to put with that ticket price. Like you just can't justify it. And so I think it's all just coming together to just draw the ire of the fans,
mm,
and I think rightfully so. Like you can't get away with the shit they're trying to do.
yeah. Well, thankfully, I and you will be watching on TV because our cable packages include ESPN, so we don't have
Finally.
so we don't have to pay an extra fee or anything like that. We get to watch from the comfort of our homes. I think maybe that's why I'm like not as like so. Oh my God, everything is shit. This is all shit. This is all horrible dog shit. Like I said, there are a couple matches on the card that I'm genuinely excited for. And I'm excited to talk about it and to, to give our predictions. And I still feel generally like this is a big show.
Yeah, I mean it's WrestleMania. It's always going to be big no matter what. I just feel like I feel like the it just feels like the build up from this year compared to last year isn't overall better, I don't think. I feel like it kind of did the opposite where the build up last year was pretty good and then the show itself was kind of a letdown, so I'm hoping it's kind of like the reverse where everyone's kind of mad about the build up and again, rightfully so in certain aspects, but hopefully it, surprises people or, exceeds their expectations. I hope, because if they have two stinker WrestleManias in a row, then oh boy, it's gonna be something else.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think you don't want to have that under your belt, two stinkers in a row. I think of the caliber of matches that are happening on the show. And paired up with the build up to me, with between we'll talk about this later, but Roman Reigns and CM Punk, for example, has been to me fantastic. The build up, it's real animosity, it's real anger and hatred towards each other, and they're gonna settle their differences in the ring. So just that's one example of something that I'm excited for. That I would say like it justify at least watching the event from home and investing your time that way.
Yeah, I feel like that one for sure. I'm trying to think of what else, to be honest. I feel like just kind of looking down the line. I feel like, I mean, I'm excited to see the demon come back because we've been waiting for it for so long. Um, yeah, Punk and Reigns. I mean, the ladder match would be pretty entertaining. I mean, AJ and Becky, because those two have always had really good chemistry. I mean, Stephanie Victor and Liv Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, honestly, most of these are like, okay, well, I'm at least intrigued enough to watch it. It's not like the best way I can say it is out of the 13 matches, there are still enough that I'm just like, okay, well, I'll at least tune in. Because if there was like one or two here and there, then it's like that's one thing. But most of them are pretty good enough that I'm like, all right, I can at least give it a watch just to see what we're dealing with here. But yeah, the excitement level is just not as high as it has been, but I'm also just not gonna be like, yeah, well, I'm not watching it because I'm not intrigued by anything. I'm intrigued by certain things, so it's enough to get me watching, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, well, why don't we get into it because there are 13 matches on the card. And we're covering two nights and we're giving our predictions. And we don't want to, bore you guys with just our usual ramblings and soapbox talk about ticket prices and the working man, So let's get right into it. Night one is going to, and mind you, the first hour of each show, night one is going to be on ESPN2 for free.
Hmm.
And then the first hour of night two is going to be on ESPN regular. For those of you that maybe want to check out the show before you invest your time with the rest of it, you get the first hour free on network TV, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you have cable and you just haven't, I guess that's kind of like if you have cable and you haven't like gotten into it yet, that's a good way to get people invested enough to try. Because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you got to reel them in somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, on caveat on that is, well, you better impress them because if you just have an iffy whatever to start the shows, then good luck getting them back. But I still think it's a good idea, though,
Well,
just to try and get some people hooked in.
Well, this one's going to be interesting because night one is going to kick off with Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and I Show Speed taking on the Usos and LA Knight in a six-man tag team match. I'm looking forward to this one because I know from the streaming world, I Show Speed is a very talented, very athletic individual. So he's gonna. I say this on stream a lot when I do the streams on Twitch. I think he's really gonna wow some people with his athletic ability in the ring, and the way he can move and the way he can move with like springs in his feet and stuff. Like we saw a little bit of his leaping ability on Raw and his quickness. We saw a little bit of that on Raw when he made his last appearance. But it's really going to be interesting to see him in a wrestling ring. What do you think about this match?
Um, I'm not thrilled for it or about it, to be honest, because it's just like I think this is just kind of another one of those, like, do we really need to have a celebrity kind of cameo in this and whatever? I mean, I guess it's a stretch calling them celebrities, influencers, let's say,
Yeah.
because, I mean, whatever, anybody can be an influencer at this point, but it's just like, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he can do, but this kind of falls into the category of, yeah, we didn't really need to have this on the card. I know we always say that with AEW's pay-per-views. Unfortunately, I feel like this is a good example for a WWE one of just kind of like, okay, if this was left off the card, I wouldn't be like, oh my god, this is just an unwatchable card. I can't like go on. I have to have this match on. It's just like I really could care less, to be completely honest. But for the case of just a prediction, Jesus, yeah, I'll give it to the Usos and LA Knight because I feel like it's pretty easy to go there, I guess. But I feel like the Vision's kind of gotten the better of the Usos for a while now, so I feel like it just is kind of only fair to have them get their revenge on the biggest show of all. So I feel like hopefully this just ends it and can move on after this because I feel like they've been dragging it a little bit. But yeah, I think the Usos and LA Knight are gonna pick up the win, and then maybe we can move on to other things, and maybe we don't have to see ISHO speed again. Because I'm not much of a streamer. I mean, I used to be back in the day, but even then, I didn't really follow those big streamers. I always kind of thought they were a little obnoxious for the most part. So it doesn't do anything for me. I'm sure there's a subsection of fans that just love him. So it's like, you know what? If you enjoy it, good for you. But I could care less. But I'm just gonna give it to the Usos and LA Knight.
I'm wondering if this will actually get any new eyes on the product.
It could.
That's the whole purpose of it, is to get new eyes on the product. But I feel like the crossover between like iShow Speed's audience and the audience of the typical wrestling fan or the typical WWE fan, because there is a difference. Now, the typical WWE fan and the typical iShow Speed viewer are one and the same. I'm sure there's like a little crossover section there that's gonna happen. And I don't know. I'm just feeling. I feel like because they're going to show this match on ESPN2 and it's going to be on TV and it's going to try to garner an audience and they're going to be using iShow Speed, I think they're going to try to give the win to Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and iShow Speed.
Right off the bat already?
Yeah.
Like, no wonder it's storming over here. Like, all right. I mean, that's fair though. But I feel like the only thing with that though is that you kind of wonder if fans of iShow Speed are also fans of Logan Paul. So it's just like, are they already invested in the product because he's there? You know what I mean? Or it's just like, where does that kind of like intersect of like, oh, is it really going to be that much of a difference because they already watch because Logan Paul's in WWE? So it's like, I wonder how vast the streamer community's like reach is, because it kind of has already infiltrated its way into WWE. So it could be, maybe. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you can go both ways with that one, where it's just like, oh yeah, you want to get people in, so you want that team to win. But I feel like you kind of, if you also want just like the spectacle, I guess, of it, because they're going to get a bigger reaction if the Usos and LA Knight win. So I feel like if that's like someone's first taste of WrestleMania, maybe they want like the good guys to win just to get the big reaction. But I don't know. I'm still gonna stick with mine though. But we'll start off early. We'll start it off early. At least we don't need the tiebreaker now. So
yeah, we don't
I'll
need
take it.
We don't need the tiebreaker. It's already started for us in the first match.
All right.
You're going with the Usos and LA Knight. I'm going with the Vision and iShow Speed to get the victory. To open up WrestleMania Night 1. The match following that will be an unsanctioned match between the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, and Drew McIntyre. Now, I'm keeping my expectations for this match low. I feel like
Yeah.
this is going to be much more of a brawl, much more than a match. This might go all over the place. I don't know. Does it, because it's unsanctioned, mean that there are no rules, or
I
are there still
guess.
rules?
I feel like if it's it's always so tough because I feel like if like when we watch AEW, they have like five different names for the same type of match. So
Right.
I feel like if it's unsanctioned, uh I don't know, because I feel like if it's not officially like recognized by the promotion and whatever, but that's tough because I feel like I would think there wouldn't be any rules because if like on paper and unsanctioned matches the company's not recognizing the match and they're not held liable for what happens, then I feel like you can't really have rules for a match you don't sanction, I guess. Are we overthinking this? I don't know. I feel like there can't be rules for a match that you don't recognize as a company. So I feel like it's going to be whatever the hell they want it to be, I guess.
I
I
guess
would think.
I'm just wondering. I'm wondering if this is gonna be, because if it's gonna be a general like hardcore match, that does add an element of some, okay, this will make things interesting.
Yeah, I kind of want it to be because I feel like, yeah, the feud between these two has been like good, but I feel like you could always add more of an edge. I mean, hell, you saw what McIntyre did to Fatu on SmackDown. I mean, it was that that very interesting phrase he said of like, what was it? You gonna put you back in handcuffs where you belong, and I'm like, oh, I'm like that's a little not a smart thing to say, but that just was what it was. And then the chain and the handcuffs were so flimsy it broke at the first sign of resistance. So
yeah,
clearly they didn't get the industrial strength ones. But um, I feel like if you're already going there on TV, I feel like you just have to continue that on the like match itself because I feel like it'd be very odd for them to do all of that to then turn right around and be like, yeah, just wrestle a regular match.
right.
Like, it seemed kind of weird to me. So I feel like, yeah, I think it's gonna be like a pseudo hardcore match or whatever we want to call it. But um, I feel like wasn't there like something going around though that McIntyre's gonna go like film a movie or something
Mm,
after this?
I didn't know that. I did not know that. I didn't hear anything or read anything like that of the sort. No.
I thought I saw it on Twitter somewhere that he's doing some supposedly, and again supposedly we just take it with a grain of salt, some movie, I suppose. So I
Uh,
feel like that definitely factors into the prediction itself because I feel like why would you have somebody win that's supposedly going to go film a movie and just go MIA for however long at a time? So I feel like I think even aside from that, I think I was still going to pick Jacob Fatu anyway because I feel like it sounds so sad, but I feel like we're just so used to McIntyre like losing at this point that I feel like him losing again is just not really going to be like a big deal or a surprise. And it sounds awful saying it, but it's true because I've just like have done that to him time and time again. But either way, regardless of the movie or not, I think I was still going to go with Jacob Fatu on this one.
it's interesting you brought that up because that's kind of my line of thinking as to why I am leaning more towards Drew McIntyre is the fact that
All right.
WrestleMania is kind of has been his kryptonite, you know? WrestleMania
Yeah.
hasn't really gone his way and hasn't been the brightest of moments in his career. Probably some of the darkest moments in his career have to do with WrestleMania, both positive and negative. Positive being he did win the championship at WrestleMania, but he did it in front of no fans. He did it in front of a bunch of
Yeah.
seats. And
Well,
then
he did technically win it
yeah,
at WrestleMania 40,
he did.
and
Yeah, and then he won it, but then he lost it in the matter of 5 minutes thanks to his arch nemesis CM Punk. You know, so it's like WrestleMania has really been a dark cloud for Drew McIntyre. Now, I don't know about this whole movie situation. I didn't read anything like that, but I'm thinking I'm thinking they don't want him to suffer another loss at WrestleMania, maybe in front of his family and whatnot. And like, if Jacob Fatu ends up losing this match, it's not gonna hurt him. He's not gonna be plucked back to obscurity, just wandering around and catering or anything. He'll still be a big deal. Um,
I feel like the only thing I'm thinking of is that I get your line of thinking on the, oh, well, he's had such a like terrible, record at WrestleMania and whatnot, but it's like I don't think they're really like pushing that as a storyline bit. I don't believe.
no, they're
Correct me if
not.
I'm wrong on it. So I feel like if they were, I think that I would have been a little more inclined to be like, okay, well, if they're actually pushing this, then maybe he's gonna actually, like break the streak or whatever. But if they're really not making a big deal out of it, I feel like I think the worst part is that if they didn't care to begin with, they're sure as shit not gonna care now. Like it's been like years at this point of just shit luck or just timing one way or another with him. So I feel like it just wouldn't surprise me to see him lose again because he's just lost so many times that it's almost just like not like I'm not gonna say a guarantee, but I feel like it just wouldn't shock me. So I feel like if it was a bigger storyline element of like, I don't know, maybe Jacob Fatu bringing up the fact that you suck at WrestleMania, so it's just like, why is this going to be any different in some way, shape, or form? Then it's just like, okay, well, maybe I would have been a little more inclined to pick Drew, but I just feel like, yeah, they haven't really given me a reason to, so I'm just like, we're just gonna go with Fatu, I think.
Okay. No, this is one of those matches where I'll be satisfied, I'm sure, with whoever comes out as the victor. I think I'm still
Yeah,
going to be satisfied. I'm still thinking it's going to be a solid match. It's going to be more of a brawling type match. Don't look for
yeah,
anything finesse. Don't look for anything technical. Just look for a wild brawl because these two really, they can't really keep their hands off of each other, you know?
yeah.
And it's on-site beef when it comes to these two, you know.
They're duking it out in the Denny's parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. So, that's definitely the intriguing part of the match. The next match that I'm really this is probably one of the ones that I'm really looking forward to. It's a match for the Women's World Championship. Stephanie Vicaire defends the title against Liv Morgan. These two have got some beef with each other that is
Yeah.
serious. It is serious with these two. They are not
Yeah.
friends whatsoever. There is nothing but heat and animosity between Stephanie Vicaire and Liv Morgan. That just adds to the anticipation of the match, and that's one of the reasons I'm looking forward to. I mean, you look at what happened on Monday Night Raw this past Monday Night Raw, that pull apart brawl. Liv had some fire in her eyes that like she looked like she could kill someone. Uh
Yeah.
it was just intense, and Stephanie Vicaire is not one to back down. She's telling her to bring it, and Liv is like, I'm ready to kill you. This looks like some
Yeah.
real life heat, some real life
Mhm.
drama. I'm loving it. What about you?
Yeah, we always say I think some of the best feuds are the ones where you kind of start to question after a while if did they actually do genuinely hate each other or not, because if they actually came out and said, "Yeah, we don't actually like each other," we'd be like, "Yeah, no shit." Like this whole feud is pretty much it comes across as these two really don't like each other for one point or another, but yeah, just these brawls, these like backstage like brawls, these segments, it's just like holy crap. And I think the sad part about it is that this is the I think the best part of Vicaire's title reign so far.
Mm.
And it's just sad because I feel like it's been give or take about like what how many days she's had it.
She's had it over 100. I know that.
Yeah, so I feel like overall, I think her title reign should have had a little bit more to it, and for whatever reason, it just didn't. But I feel like this is definitely what's spiced it up for sure. It's definitely elevated. Except I think the ironic thing about it is that her title reign is going to reach its peak on the same night that she's going to lose it because
Ooh.
I know. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. I feel like the way Liv's been going, it's almost just like you can't not have her win. And get this, I looked this up a little bit. I was doing a little research before we started. This is her first singles match at WrestleMania, like ever. Every other time she's been involved, it's been some sort of tag or whatever. So the fact that this is her first singles match ever at WrestleMania is, I mean, kind of insane. But I feel like you just got to give it to Liv. I think she's just been on such a momentum run or just a high since winning the Rumble that I feel like you'd be doing her a disservice not having her win. I feel like I'd be shocked if she didn't win. To go through all of this just to have her lose would just be wild to me. So I feel like, yeah, I love Stephanie McGarrett, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they're just taking it off her. I just have this feeling that Liv's getting the title back.
Interesting, interesting. This is one of those matches that I'm so excited for. I can't really pick a winner. Like I see your point about Liv Morgan, and I do think they have really high hopes for Liv Morgan to be kind of like the anchor of the women's division. It's kind of her
Yeah.
time to kind of step into that point. Um, but Stephanie Vaquer is so good. You know,
She is.
it's like damn. Um,
I think another thing that kind of is like playing into it is what's going to happen with the Jade and Rhea match,
mm,
because I feel like I think I mean, I don't know about you, but I think I'm gonna just kind of give it away ahead of time. I think Rhea's going to beat Jade for this title. So your biggest star who was on Raw is now going to like mainly be on SmackDown if she wins. So you're going to need somebody who was going to, like you said, anchor that women's division. And yeah, Stephanie can definitely do it, but I just think the momentum that Liv's been on lately is just it's kind of becoming undeniable. I feel like you just can't not give her that title because I mean, clearly she's had the title before. She's proven she can run with it. So I feel like she's even better than she was when she had it originally. So I feel like, yeah, give her the reins, see what the hell happens, and especially with we don't know what's going on with Judgment Day, that might play into it as well.
interesting, interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to man, and I really like Stephanie Vaquer. This kind of
I
sucks.
know.
It sucks. It sucks.
It's a shame.
I like Stephanie Vaquer a lot, and I think she's done great as champion. But I think Liv, in terms of popularity, you know, she's still pretty popular with the fans, and I think people
Oh
are
yeah.
really. She's got people on her side in this feud as well. Um,
Yeah.
so I think I'm going to put my chips in the hat for Liv Morgan.
All right.
And
3 matches in and we're finally agreeing.
yeah,
Like,
right.
this has never happened before. What's happening?
I don't know. I don't know. Let's see about the next one. The next one is a match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship between champion AJ Lee and challenger Becky Lynch. Now, these two have been locked up in a feud that's been going on for the past months and months, all the way back past Elimination Chamber, Survivor Series, War Games. It
Mhm.
really kind of kicked off. So this has been going on since November. These two have been locked in.
Yeah.
I'm not, and I'm one of the ones that usually I'd be like, all right, time to wrap it up. Let's do something else here. But I'm not tired of this feud. I like the chemistry between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is, like I said earlier, one of the matches I'm definitely looking forward to because every match they've had so far has been fantastic. So it's not like we wouldn't expect anything less from them now. But I don't know. I feel like I remember when AJ won the title at Elimination Chamber, we both were shocked. We were just like, there's no way they're taking it off of Becky yet. Like, there's just no way. They're not going to do it. They're not going to, like, go in for, like, the big moment, the big hometown moment, whatever. They're just going to do that with Punk. Fine. And then, boy, were we wrong on that one. But kind of makes you wonder, was it just the title win just for the sake of the big, like, hometown crowd thing, though? Because I don't know, man. But like you said, they've been at this since November. That's been quite a while. And yeah, I would agree. I wouldn't mind seeing them continue to do this, but I feel like you have to give them other things because we keep talking about all these matches that AJ Lee could have now that she's back. And all we've really seen her do is go after Becky, so I feel like we kind of need her to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
But the real question is that could she do that with the title or could she do that without the title? I mean, obviously I feel like she could do it without the title. Um uh this is a tough one because I can kind of see it going either way. You can kind of flip a coin on this one, honestly. God damn it, this one's tough. Mm.
It's tough.
You know what? Screw it. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go for the wild thing. I think Becky's gonna get the title back.
Nice. Okay. She's
Just because I need to pick and we can't be here all night. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I think that even without the title, AJ can go on and have those feuds with the other women that we've like been talking about ever since she came back. So I feel like she can do that without the title. It's not really needed. So, and Becky, I mean, Becky's pretty much been kind of like the face of that title since it's been like become a thing.
Right.
Like she's taken that title and pretty much made it hers. So I feel like her winning it back really wouldn't surprise anybody, but I feel like okay, if they bring it back to her, then they have to like make somebody with this title at her expense. Not at her expense, but you know what I mean, where it's just like okay, make a star out of a feud with her and somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And who that could be, well, that remains to be seen. But I feel like either way, either one of them winning or losing this title really wouldn't do anything detrimental to them because they're both just so good that it's just like if AJ loses it, it's not going to hurt her because she doesn't really need it. If Becky doesn't win, it wouldn't hurt her, but if she wins the title back, it's not a bad thing. So I feel like, you know what, we're just for the sake of flipping a coin, I'm like, you know what, we're just going to go with Becky because why not?
Yeah, I am actually also going with Becky Lynch.
All right.
I think AJ Lee has had Becky's number in this feud so far, kind of
Yeah.
constantly getting the one up on her, where I think now would be the perfect time for Becky to get one back and maybe AJ take a little bit of a break or something for a little while to kind of cool off. I think that's the direction that they're going. But you think about the feud. AJ Lee's had Becky Lynch's number throughout the entire thing. I mean, she made her tap out at War Games. She made her tap out at Elimination Chamber. They've been battling it out, and AJ's been getting the better of her. And you wouldn't think because she's had what a 10, 11 year layoff out of the ring. You wouldn't think like it's been that long because she hasn't missed a beat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I feel like we always say, okay, well, if the heel keeps getting the one up on the baby face, it can go both ways. I mean, like I think it's Becky's turn to get a little bit of revenge.
Yeah, I think Becky is going to walk away with the Women's Intercontinental Championship as well.
Right. See, we both went out on a limb on that one.
And all right, so the next one is a fatal four-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. The champions, the Irresistible Forces, Nia Jax and Lash Legend, will be taking on Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, and the Bella Twins if Nikki Bella can get cleared for action. It seems like it's going to be a game time decision for Nikki Bella whether or not she can get cleared for action. Fingers crossed she actually does because I feel like, they deserve to be in this match as well.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like I think a lot of people are hoping she gets cleared because I think they just want them to win the titles. However, I feel like even if she gets cleared, I don't think she's going to be at 100%. I think it's just going to kind of be a I need to get into this match at any cost kind of thing. So I
Right.
feel like if you're WWE, are you really going to sacrifice whoever? I mean, because you could see any one of these teams really winning, and it really wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. But it's like, do you really want to sacrifice a title reign for the sake of a big moment just to potentially have them relinquish the titles because she can't be cleared after a while, or because she fucks her ankle up even more? Because she could fuck her ankle up more in this match.
Yeah.
Like, they could try to protect her all she wants, but one wrong step or one misstep and it's just like it's over. So I feel like that effectively, I would think, takes them out of the running to win. So I feel like I'm definitely not going to go with them. I feel like Charlotte and Alexa, you could see it maybe, but I don't think that that's going to be like the ideal choice. I think if we had to pick somebody to win that isn't Nia and Lash, I feel like you could see Bailey and Lyra, because they've been, a good team for the last little bit now, and they got the chemistry going and whatnot. But the thing is, do they really need the titles? I don't I don't think so. Would it be another feel good moment at WrestleMania? Yeah, but I feel like they don't need to immediately like fall into the trap of we have to have a good like the baby faces win. We have to have a babyface team win. Like, I feel like they don't need it. So I think having Nia and Lash retain at WrestleMania is like the better option, because it just like solidifies them as a team and as the champions. I feel like that's like the big stamp of approval at that point. So yeah, I'm gonna go out, maybe not on a limb, but I'm just gonna go out and say that Lash and Nia retain the titles. I don't really see a reason for them to lose them yet, and I think it would just be a big deal for them to like keep the titles and retain them at Mania. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the champions retaining.
Interesting. You kind of swayed my decision. I
I
was
do that sometimes.
Yeah, I was originally gonna give it to Lyra and Bailey because they've been making such a big deal about Bailey making it to WrestleMania now, and this being a big WrestleMania for her and Lyra. But you kind of swayed my decision. I could see uh Lash and Nia being the ones to get the victory and being the ones to celebrate in the middle of the ring. I see that more of a possibility than I see anybody else. Um, I would make the argument, because they made such a big deal about Bailey finally making it to WrestleMania, that they could have a chance to maybe win these titles. I don't know. It's kind of tough to tell because WWE has been very unpredictable with their title changes as of late.
Yeah.
So like what you think might happen actually doesn't happen. And like usually we were able to pick up on, well, by the odds, this will happen or that'll happen. Now it's not the case. So
Yeah.
with four teams in there, there's a good chance that these belts can change hands. But I am going to be safe and go with the Irresistible Forces to retain and celebrate in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania, retaining the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships.
All right. Now we're starting to get back on track.
All right, so I am making note of all of this. I am.
Yeah, we have to. There's too many matches. We got to keep it all in order.
Yeah, because I would definitely be out of order here, but I got everything written down so that way there is no collusion.
Yeah, we don't need that again. We don't need to. We don't need another one.
All right, so moving on, we have a singles match between Seth Rollins and Gunther. This one's kind of interesting because at first you're like, well, I don't know why they're fighting, but I'm glad to see them fighting. So that's kind of how I feel about this match. I don't know why it's happening, but I'm glad it's happening because I actually want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because you know what? Why the hell not? I guess that's just the reason why. It's just why the hell not? I I feel like this one's pretty like easy though, because I feel like Seth winning doesn't really do much, and I feel like with the way Gunther's been going for the last however many months at this rate, I feel like you can't not have him win this. I feel like it's kind of the it's kind of the scenario where it's like Gunther shouldn't lose this match and Seth doesn't need to win it either. So I feel like that's just it makes it a little more easy or an easier thing for me. But I feel like you also know like that deal between Gunther and Heyman, like what's all that about?
Yeah.
Like what are they doing with that? Like what is that thing? So I feel like is Heyman gonna do something to Rollins again at Mania? Or like is he gonna turn again on at Mania or do something else? Who knows? But I feel like regardless of if that was even a thing, I feel like it was still been a very straightforward prediction because I feel like Gunther's just too hot right now. You can't have him lose for like a match, especially with like the way you put it, a match being like, I don't know why we're doing this, but sure, I guess. It's just like, okay, well, if you have him on such like a hot streak, just to have him lose in a match where everybody's literally saying, I don't know why this match is even happening, but sure, it just wouldn't make any sense. So I feel like
Right.
you have to just keep the hot streak going, regardless of if the match is really warranted or needed or not. I feel like you just got to keep the continuity going.
Excuse me. Yeah, I completely agree. I think for a match where nobody understands why it's really happening, I think they're getting by on the fact that people just want to see the match, which is not necessarily
Yeah.
a bad thing. They're just like, okay, well, again, we don't know why this is happening, but we're not mad at it. So we're going to take a look at it and see what happens. And I think because of what Gunther has been doing for the past couple months, I mean, taking out John Cena, then taking out AJ Styles, I honestly think with that under your belt, whoever beats Gunther in a match, it has to be a really really big deal. And unfortunately, I don't think Seth Rollins beating Gunther in a match is a really really big deal. Um,
Yeah.
it would just be like, okay, that's fine, that's cool. But I honestly think with Gunther's track record, I think Gunther might be taking this one away from Seth Rollins. I want them to elaborate on the story of Gunther and Paul Heyman because I think that's
Yeah.
an interesting dynamic. I think that's interesting what they're trying to do there. They could make something happen and it would be good stuff.
Yeah, I think so. So I mean, depending on how it shakes out at WrestleMania, maybe we will get that you know, fleshed out a little bit more, but obviously that remains to be seen. But either way, I think you still just got to give it to Gunther either way.
Nice, nice. So we're both in line with Gunther defeating Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 42.
Yes.
All right. Now that brings us to the main event of night one. Remember, there are 2 nights of WrestleMania this year. This is the main event of night one. It is a match for the undisputed WWE Championship, where if Randy Orton loses, Pat McAfee will leave professional wrestling business for good. So I didn't know that was such a big deal.
Mhm.
But here it is, Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Randy Orton, who's gonna have Pat McAfee in his corner. I think, honestly, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't think Randy Orton's gonna get it done. I think Cody Rhodes.
Oh,
I think Cody Rhodes is going to continue his reign. I think they feel very safe with Cody Rhodes as champion, and I mean they could give it to Orton for the big, 15, but I mean it's not a record breaker. It's just moving him up
no.
the. It's just moving him up the ladder, you know. And and I don't know if Pat McAfee is that big of a deal where like if he never comes back, people would be very very upset.
You know what? The best way I can put this whole thing right now is simply just
Nice.
like like I am just I'm trying to even come up with the words. just bewildered, astonished, um, flabbergasted at the fact that they took this feud that literally could write itself. Cody and Orton, teacher, master, like again, tale as old as time. It was right in front of you. And TKO thought it was a genius idea that, hey, we need to get Jelly Roll involved. Hey, we need to get Pat McAfee involved. That's really what's going to sell this feud and these tickets because it's just. My God. It's such a fucking mess. That's the best way to put it. It's a fucking mess. It's just, you had something clear cut, clean as day, like plain cut, clear as day, mentor, protege, master teacher, like student, whatever, and you turn it into this. But thankfully, the match itself, when you strip everything away from it, is still worthwhile. Thankfully, but it's just like a shame that it's getting muddled in the middle of this bullshit. But you just know that there's going to be some bullshit in this match. Like, you just know it.
A ref bump.
Probably, yeah, at least one. You know, there's going to be outside interference out the ass at this point. I feel like I wonder if they're going to like lean into this though, because I feel like they're they're kind of blurring the lines between what's real and what's like storyline with this whole thing, and it's kind of making me wonder if they're gonna pull kind of what they did with The Rock and Cody and all that at WrestleMania 40, where it's just like, oh, it's Cody against like the puppets of like the higher ups of this company, and I wonder if they're gonna lean into that actually and have like TKO be like the puppet master with shit. But I just feel like if Cody wins, what really, like, what does it do? Really? I mean, like, yeah, we lose Pat McAfee, like, big fucking whoop at that point, but it's just like, I feel like there's just nothing to it after that. I guess it's just like, okay, everything just keeps being fine. Cody's still the champion and McAfee's gone, and what does that leave Orton to do? Just do whatever, I guess. I feel like just the way it's going right now, which again is just a royal clusterfuck if I've ever seen one. I think we're gonna have to be different again. I think just the way it's going right now, you have to have Orton win this title because I feel like if you don't, all this bullshit the TKO's like stuck their nose in pretty much is just gone for nothing. It's just like there has to be a payoff to it at some point. Like, why would they do all this shit just to have Orton lose? Like, it just wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense. But I feel like it's a sad thing that we even have to talk about this because this is just like so pointless and so stupid, which again, we've talked about ad nauseum at this point, but it's just like annoying. But yeah, I feel like all this bullshit has to lead to something, and I feel like that has to be Orton winning the title because again, it just, if it doesn't happen, it's just kind of like, well, what the fuck were we doing for the last month? So I'm gonna go different with you on this one. I think Orton's gonna get number 15.
All right, there you have it. That's night one. I'm going with Cody Rhodes. I think they're going to be playing it safe and keeping the title on. You know, I don't want to say he is the pseudo corporate champion, but he's definitely the champion for TKO. He's been the champion for most of the TKO reign as it has happened. So I think they're going to play it safe and keep the belt on the golden boy.
All right. I mean, if he did, I would be. I mean, I think I'm still just gonna be like shaking my head at it, regardless of what happens, because it's just what we could have had versus what we got is just kind of infuriating. But that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. Well, we have a whole extra night to predict we still have night 2 that has 6 matches on night 2. Very exciting. I don't know what night comes out better, but both nights are pretty loaded with action, especially night 1. Remember, the first hour of WrestleMania Night 2 is going to be featured on ESPN on cable TV. So if you don't have the ESPN Unlimited app, but still want to check out the first hour, maybe whet your appetite, maybe sway your decision to purchase the app and watch the rest of WrestleMania because it's going to be a big card. They're going to start it off big time. I know, like, this is a I don't, what's the word I'm looking for? I know this is not your favorite topic, but I feel like even this match you have to be looking forward to, and that is a match between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. The way this has been built up has made Obafemi look like a superstar. And
Hmm.
he can continue being a superstar if he was able to defeat Brock Lesnar, which I think is going to be the case. That's going to happen. I think nobody really benefits from Brock Lesnar winning, and everything in the world can be given to Obafemi, starting with a win against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I feel like it benefits nobody but him if he wins. I feel like this is another rather easy one. I feel like we've had definitely some toss-up predictions with this one, but this is very easy. You have to have Obafemi win because why wouldn't you? Like, if Lesnar's not going to be around much longer, if there's a god, but if he's like on, who's going to be the big, like, imposing guy you have? Obafemi fits that bill times 1,000. So I feel like if you want to make him a big ass star, beating someone who, in their eyes, of course, I would never really agree, like Lesnar is just like, holy shit, like that's a big fucking deal. So it's like, why would you pass up on the opportunity to make a star on your biggest stage, especially in a match like this? I feel like this one's just, it's easy. Like, you have to give it to Obafemi because if Lesnar wins, what the fuck are we doing
Yeah.
again?
And I'm interested in seeing if Lesnar's going to play ball. Is he going to
Yeah.
cooperate in the match and try to do his best to make Obafemi look good? Um, I think he will, based upon what their interactions have been these past couple weeks on Raw, where these brawls have been really cool to see them just go at it like a bunch of animals, and throw chairs and stairs and everything at each other. I think Brock Lesnar is strangely excited to have an opponent that's going to be able to match him in size and strength. So this I don't think is gonna go like a clusterfuck like WrestleMania 20 or something. I think Brock Lesnar is actually going to enjoy his match against Obafemi, but I think Obafemi's coming out on top of this one.
I would hope so. I really hope so because I'd like to see them justify why he wouldn't, but dumber things have happened. But yeah, I would like to think that this is a pretty solid lock for Obafemi winning.
There you have it. Obafemi taking the opening spot on night 2 in our predictions for WrestleMania. Next up, we have a 6-pack ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship where Penta will be defending the title against Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. This is going to be the exciting part of the show. Definitely going to be on that first hour of action on ESPN to kind of hook people in. And I think what a perfect match to do so.
Oh yeah, like his any outside like spectator wants to see some wild shit, put him in front of a ladder match because that is where you're going to see the craziest shit happen. And you have a pretty good mix of people in here too, because I mean, they could have easily put a whole bunch of just like high flyers in here and just like, people would lose their shit over it, but I feel like it's a nice mix of, you got some high flying, you got some like technical, you got some powerhouses in there, so you got a good mix and everyone will obviously get their time to shine as they usually do. As far as the winner, though, I feel like. Mm, I mean, the safe bet would be to just say Penta, because why wouldn't it be? I mean, it's always a safe bet to go with him. But are they going to do like a shock factor like moment at WrestleMania and during this match and have somebody else win? But I think the thing would be is if they do, who would it be? Mm,
I think if they wanted to do a shock factor, it would be Javon Evans that they would probably
yeah.
want to put the Intercontinental title on.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That is a pretty good idea now that I think about it, because the crowd loves him. He's just like insanely fun to watch, and him with the title would be that'd be kind of actually. Hmm. I think you may have just talked me into that one, maybe. So I think, you know, just for the sake of they need a shock factor moment in the pay per view, you know what, I'm gonna say Javon Evans is gonna do it. I think he's gonna. I mean, obviously do some crazy shit regardless of if he wins or not, because these kind of matches are built for somebody like him. Um, but yeah, I think he'll do some things that'll probably take some years off his life or somebody else's, and yeah, I think he's gonna pull through and get that Intercontinental Championship.
Right. Originally, I was gonna throw my tickets in for Penta to retain, but I think based on what we just discussed again with the shock factor and the fact that that WWE has been trying to make their title changes unpredictable,
Yeah.
I think, you know, six people in a match, your chances to retain are drastically reduced, especially when you have a ladder involved. Um, and I think again, there's some star power to Javon Evans, where if he has the Intercontinental Championship, he looks good with the Intercontinental Championship. It looks like a proper fit,
Hmm.
you know. And again, I just think they want to go for the shock factor and maybe catch people off guard to start off WrestleMania. Again, this is only going to be the second match on the card, so they're definitely
Yeah.
want to reel people in for sure.
And if that's gonna be free on ESPN, then what better way to rope people in than do something shocking like that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. What can we see shocking in the next match, you say? It is for the WWE Women's Championship where Jade Cargill will be defending the title against Rhea Ripley. Now, you already said that Rhea Ripley was going to come out the victor. Why do you think Rhea Ripley is going to come out the new champion?
Well, because I think it's a rather easy outcome, honestly. I feel like, I mean, we've said it several times on the show, in fact, that Jade Cargill just, she's an anomaly. That's, I think, the best way we can put it at this rate. She's an anomaly because she looks great. She has the look, has the charisma. Then you get into the ring, and it kind of is like, mm. I feel like she hasn't gotten enough experience to, I'm not going to say be a ring general, but we also don't, but she also, you put her in there with someone inexperienced and it's very obvious. It gets very exposed rather quickly. And I feel like with her title reign, it's just been eh, like it is what it is. I think we've talked about it again ad nauseum that the whole thing with her and Tiffany Stratton was that they, in my opinion, they were kind of in like a lose-lose situation anyway, because you keep the title on Tiffany and you really had nothing for her, but you put it on Jade and you can't really guarantee she's ready yet. And I think it's safe to say I don't think she's ready yet, because let's be completely honest here. Rhea Ripley is the biggest woman, like superstar in WWE. Could argue she is the biggest star, period. You can't tell me that Jade Cargill is going to beat somebody like Rhea Ripley. She's just not. That's just like, you run the simulation 9 times out of 10, Rhea's gonna win, because that's just how it is. I feel like the thing that I'm worried about is how is Jay going to hang with Rhea in the ring, because Rhea rises to the occasion every chance she gets. That's just how she is. She's been a part of some of the biggest matches, women's matches in the last however many years. Jade doesn't has not. Jade has definitely not had that kind of pressure put on her. So what's going to happen with her when the lights are on the brightest and she's standing across the ring from one of the biggest superstars in the company? Is she going to rise to the occasion? Is she going to fold? And how much is Rhea going to have to carry her through this match? Because I mean, if anybody could do it, it could be Rhea. Like, she's not the problem here. I think Jade's going to be the one where it's like, this could get really ugly really quick. But regardless, regardless of however or whatever happens in that match, I think it's just going to end up the same because if you're looking for someone to lead SmackDown or just are you looking for that like flagship champion for your show, it's got to be Rhea. It's like people could argue all they want, but if you had to pick between Jade and Rhea, just based off what we've seen from both of them over the last few years, it's going to be Rhea every time. And I feel like no one's really, I mean, sure, some people might complain, but I feel like Rhea being the champion over Jade is not going to really annoy a lot of people, I wouldn't think. I mean, some people are going to always complain about anything, but yeah, it's just this one is another easy one for me. It's just it was always going to be Rhea. Nothing about this feud has made me change my mind on that one. And I'm just more interested in how the match itself is going to go, not so much the outcome, because it's pretty obvious what's going to happen. Rhea's going to get that title.
Yeah, I am also throwing my chips in for Rhea Ripley to come away the victor and the new WWE Women's Champion. I just think it's again one of those things where they're gonna try to make things unpredictable. I mean, because they could easily keep the title on Jade Cargill. She hasn't had very many defenses, and
No.
she looks good with the title. I'm not gonna lie, Jade Cargill looks good with the
Yeah.
title. But I think Rhea Ripley, her star power, her experience as champion, and her winning record at WrestleMania plays a factor.
Mhm.
So I think she's gonna come away with the victory, and then she's gonna really be again. And we talked about this before with the other match. She's really gonna become an anchor for that women's division on SmackDown. If
Yeah.
she comes away with the victory, so I'm really thinking Rhea Ripley is going to be the victory on this one. She's going to become the new women's champion. And not to say anything bad against Jade Cargill, I think this match is actually going to surprise a lot of people. I think this match is going to be very good and it's going to surprise a lot of people. And Jade Cargill is going to surprise a lot of people with this match. I just have a sneaking suspicion she's going to pull out a good one on her. So I'm very
I'm
excited.
hoping.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see where this goes for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to be surprised. Let's just put it that way. I'd like to be pleasantly surprised. So we'll see if she can hang.
All right. All right. Moving on. We have a match for the United States Championship where champion Sami Zayn will be defending the title against WrestleMania rookie Trick Williams. This is going to be a fun match. I think the stuff with Sami Zayn is very interesting. I think
Yeah.
how the fans are perceiving Sami Zayn is very interesting. At first, I would hate it because I like Sami Zayn and I like what he brings to the table. But if anybody can kind of turn the page and change a shift in attitudes and make it work, it would be Sami Zayn. So I think with the popularity of Trick Williams and the abilities of Sami Zayn, we might have like a double switch here where
Oh, you took my idea. All
we
right.
might have. I didn't know you had this idea in your head, but I'm thinking
Uh-huh.
a double switch where by the end of the night, people are cheering for Trick Williams and booing Sami Zayn wholeheartedly.
Yeah, because I feel like with Sammy's case, it's kind of starting to go that way already because I think fans are kind of getting tired of the underdog story
Hmm.
because they've just seen it so many times from Sammy. So it's just like, oh God, can we just do like something else? And yeah, I took my fucking idea, man. Damn it. Because the fans are clearly behind Trick, and they're not supposed to be, but
Hmm.
they are. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past them to do a double turn at this. I mean, hell, they've done it before, and it's done wonders for people. So you know what? Why not do it here? It's just a matter of is true. I feel like if they do, I feel like the only way that could work is if you have Sammy retain, because I feel like you got to do the double turn, but then you got to really like sell it and like bring it home, because I feel like doing the double turn but then still having Trick win doesn't have as much impact as it doesn't have as much impact of, okay, well, you're really not making me like you, Sammy, and this is really just like pissing us off because you're finally just doing all the shit that we like kind of expected you to do, because we're just getting sick and tired of you just like being the good guy all the time and him just deciding mid-match that, you know what, fine, then fuck you guys, I'm going to do my own thing. That has to really sell it, and the only way he can do that is if he does some shady shit to win and retain the title. I think that's the only way you can go, especially if they do the double turn. We have to like say if they do. Um, if it was guaranteed that they weren't gonna, all right, we got to play hypothetical here. If we knew point blank that they weren't gonna do a double turn, like we knew somebody in the room and they're like, yeah, don't expect it, it's not happening, then I would be more inclined to go with Trick. But I just feel like they have a very good opportunity here to do this, because you'd like to think that they're paying attention at least a little bit to what's going on. They're not really into Sammy anymore. They're really into Trick. So why not give them a reason to actually boo Sammy and actually cheer for Trick? And the only way you can do that is you double turn them, but Sammy has to retain that title. He has to do something shitty. He has to cost Trick the title. He has to screw him over, cheat somehow, and then that really will solidify, like, oh, well, we really don't like you now. So I'm glad that we are still on that same wavelength of something's going to happen. They're both going to turn, and I think Sammy's going to retain that title by nefarious means.
I love the way you mapped it out and having Sami Zayn retain, and the reason why Sami Zayn would have to retain. I think it makes a lot of sense in terms of, wanting to make the switch work. And again, if we're gonna boo Sami Zayn, we're gonna go all out, and
Yeah.
we're gonna make sure that he gets the boos. You know,
Yeah, you got to give him a reason.
yeah. And I think, someone that's going to benefit from all of this is going to be someone like Carmelo Hayes, who can come out the mega baby face out of all of this and try
Yeah.
to gain back his United States Championship. Or again, they can keep it going with Trick and kind of spread that out past WrestleMania. I see them doing that as well to kind of build up Trick. All in all, the people that are going to benefit from this are the people working with Sami Zayn, because
Oh, yeah.
he has so much experience. But I think to hammer home the fact that, okay, now we're going to have to get used to Sami Zayn getting booed, we're going to have him win by nefarious means.
Yeah. It's the only way to do it.
Yeah, I think that's a very good uh prediction there, and I think that's a smart way to do things for sure.
Yeah, well, hopefully we talk that one into existence, because we'll feel very vindicated if that actually happens, but we'll see.
All right, next up we have a match between the Demon, Finn Balor, and Dominic
Finally.
Mysterio. The Demon is back.
Finally. I feel like that pretty much makes this as easy of a prediction as you can make,
Yeah.
because you cannot have the demon come back and have him lose. Like, you
Yeah.
cannot. You can't. Like, people already, I mean, most people love Dom, most hate him. It's kind of actually it's kind of like right down the middle, but I feel like it's not going to benefit him because he's already popular in his own right. I don't think it's going to really benefit him, or like, oh, it's really going to take him over the top to beat the demon. You have to, especially with the way the demon had been treated for the longest time before he kind of just like went on hiatus for a little bit. You have to have him come back and come back swinging. So this isn't even this isn't even like a hard decision. It's definitely going to be Finn. He has to pick up the win on this one.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see, it doesn't make sense to bring back the Demon and then have the Demon lose. That just doesn't, it doesn't make sense. So I think this is pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
And hopefully this means big things are on the horizon for Finn Balor past WrestleMania.
I hope.
Hopefully they're gonna think about maybe using him in a bigger role, because he definitely deserves it.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully they think about putting Balor in a bigger role, and he can build off of this win at WrestleMania against Dominic Mysterio, who's still going to be the AAA Mega Champion, who's still going to be mega booed wherever he goes and mega hated, which is exactly what he wants. So he's not gonna hurt from a loss. He's kind of one of those heels where you expect to lose but still look good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's not going to hurt him at all. It's just he's still going to be good. I'm interested to see like what what else is going to happen with the whole Judgment Day. Like, is it going to further implode because Dominic loses, or is it going to just like continue to fracture over time, and then something like goes completely wrong at another pay-per-view or something? I mean, it also depends on like what happens with the whole Liv match if she wins. So it's like, is that going to play into it? Because I mean, it's pretty much crumbling. It's just a matter of when it's going to fully just implode.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But that's going to be one to look forward to. And then that brings us to the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania. It is a match for the World Heavyweight Championship, where World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk will be defending the title against Roman Reigns. Now, this has been a war, and I've been into it from the very beginning. They've been just throwing fire at each other, whether it's pull-apart brawls or just talking shit to each other on the microphone. They have been absolutely killing it and making me very excited for this match. I can't wait. I think this match is going to blow the roof off the place.
Oh yeah, this is definitely the most like anticipated match of the entire card. Like, and it's not even close. Cause these two, this is another one kind of reminds you of Stephanie and Liv, where it's just like you two might really not actually like each other in real life, because it's just like the animosity, the venom, it's just the pull apart brawls, the promos, like Punk's promo last week. God, that was wild. I feel like a lot of people are saying that was even better than his original promo. And you know what? You could probably argue that. That one was that was what we call scorched earth.
Yeah.
That was what he did. He went full scorched earth on everybody. But I feel like when it comes to the winner, though, I feel like it kind of comes down to who's going to actually be around to hold that title. You know what I mean? I feel like Roman's kind of doing the whole part-time thing. So I feel like, do you really want to have the title on a part-time guy and have to go through all that bullshit again, where it's just like, okay, well, we're not going to see him for a month or so at a time, like, but he's still the champion though, guys. Don't worry about it. But I feel like Punk's going to show up no matter what, and I feel like him actually getting his big like WrestleMania moment would be nice to see, because I mean, he main evented last year, which was great, even though he lost. But I feel like it would just be nice to see him close out the entire WrestleMania with like him on top and just actually like getting the moment he could have gotten last year. And obviously, I mean, we know how that turned out, and for obvious reasons why it had to happen that way. But I feel like it would just be a nice feel good moment to end the show, because I feel like we don't need a repeat of the end of last year's WrestleMania, where everybody was more pissed off than everything. I think they kind of owe it to the fans to let them leave Vegas and let them leave WrestleMania just feeling good for once. So I feel like that would be a good way to do it. So I think they're going to hopefully keep the title on Punk.
All right. Yeah, I think it doesn't hurt to have the title on Punk. I think Punk makes the title look good.
Absolutely.
I think he makes the title look good, and I think he's a fighting champion that people are actually getting behind. Like the lineage, he keeps up the lineage of this World Heavyweight Championship that is based on competition and being a fighting champion, like Seth Rollins was, like Damian Priest was. So he keeps that momentum going. Yeah, I just think Roman is kind of, he's done this all before, so he doesn't really need it.
Oh yeah, no, he doesn't need to have this title again.
No.
Like, it's not going to benefit the company. It's not going to do anything. It's just like, it'd be kind of pointless. So
yeah, I think things are good the way they are. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. So I don't know. And I just feel like too, because I feel like Roman's still trying to like get that big break into Hollywood. It's kind of like you always kind of wonder if he's always 1 foot in, 1 foot out with wrestling. So I think you got to get on the guy who's going to show up to work every day and wants to show up to work every day. And like you said, to prove that he's a fighting champion and keep up that lineage of that title. So I feel like it just doesn't make sense to take it off him because what would be the point? I feel like everybody would prefer to have Punk standing at the end of the show with all the giant pyro and all that stuff. I feel like that's a better feel than to have Roman just do it again because it's just that doesn't. There's no point. Let's just put it. There's just no point for it to happen.
Yeah, I think we're kind of over the Roman Reigns dominating the main event scene at WrestleMania. I think that story
Yeah.
has already been told, and it's already gotten old. So it's time for CM Punk to maybe, continue on his reign. His reign has been fantastic. I think he's been adding a lot to it and adding a lot to the lineage of the World Heavyweight Championship. So might as well keep it going. No need to ruin the fun.
Well, like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our predictions for night 2 of WrestleMania. We pretty much are on the same page with everybody. Night 2, we both have Obafemi winning over Brock Lesnar. We both have Javon Evans coming out of the ladder match as the new Intercontinental Champion. We have Rhea Ripley defeating Jade Cargill to be the new Women's Champion. Sami Zayn is going to retain the United States Championship. The Demon Finn Balor is going to conquer Dominic Mysterio, and CM Punk is going to leave WrestleMania 42 as the World Heavyweight Champion still. So, night 2, we're all in lockstep with each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were only kind of off on each other a little bit on night 1, but as usual, we're still, for the most part, in step with each other.
Yep, and either way, that championship is still going to remain with me as the rightful champion. Thank you very much. I get all the predictions right.
You know what? I was just waiting. I was letting you have it for a little bit, but I feel like what better place to take it from you than WrestleMania? So you know what? I'm doing it. I'm coming for that title.
Wow. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's our predictions for WrestleMania. I'm excited for the show. It's going to be a good one. It always is. It's the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. It's my Christmas. I'm excited for WrestleMania, so hopefully you are too. And hopefully this episode has got you excited for WrestleMania, because you can check out this episode on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. It's available at every podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find this podcast. All you have to do is search Ringside Rundown, hit the follow or subscribe button, and you'll never miss an episode. We come out with an episode once a week for you guys every Wednesday morning, so hopefully you guys check it out. And if you like the episode, let us know by hitting us up on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Ringside Rundown. Again, that's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Ringside Rundown. We're on TikTok at Ringside_Rundown. And check me out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And this week specifically for WrestleMania, on Sunday on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ringside Rundown, twitch.tv/Ringside Rundown. You can watch all wrestling programming with me and interact with me and the rest of our community of wrestling fans who enjoy what we do over there on Twitch. So again, check me out on twitch.tv/Ringside Rundown. Shay, where can they get in touch with you?
You can find me on my wrestling Twitter at ShayRingside_. We always joke it's just like Erik's, except I copy the homework a little bit.
There you have it. We got some big stuff coming on. This is episode 199. So can you believe episode 200? We're going to be recapping WrestleMania.
I mean, we couldn't have done that any better if we tried. Yeah. Honestly, that was perfect timing.
What a monumentous occasion.
Yeah, really. It's going to be insane. And then we also may hint that perhaps episode 201 might be another get to know us episode. You never know.
You never know.
We have to talk about it, but just in case, get those non-wrestling questions prepared.
Yep. It's going to be another fun one, guys. Thank you very much for listening to the Ringside Rundown. For Shay Hickson, my name is Erik Vasquez, and we'll catch you in the next one, guys. Take care.
See you later, guys.